Okay, today we're starting on our unit of patterning in algebra, continuing on from what we did before in pattern in algebra. And also the work today starts with some review of our number sense working with integers, adding and subtracting. So I'm going to go through a few questions with you from our Jump Math book as a way to get you started, and then I'm going to assign some questions for you to do on your own. So starting with number 1, we're on page 107 in our Jump Math 8.2, starting pattern in algebra 8-16. So it's asking us to add or subtract the following numbers. So this is review from our integer unit. We know that if we have a negative 2 and we add 3 to it, we're going to end up at 1. Negative 5 minus 3 means we're starting at negative 5 and moving 3 more to the left. So on a number line, we would have negative 8. Negative 5, we start at negative 5 on a number line and add 2, so we're going to the right 2. So we end at negative 3. And question D is 4 minus 9, and that's negative 5. More importantly, I want to look at the next line of questions where we have two signs together. And what we talked about in our earlier unit was that if we have two signs together within an addition or subtraction questions, we need to replace those two signs with one sign. So when we're adding a positive number, what we're overall doing is we're adding. So we have negative 4 plus 6, we end up at 2. And when we are subtracting a negative number, remember that two negative signs make a positive, so overall we're adding. Negative 5 plus 13 gives us 8. Again, a negative and a positive beside each other mean that we are overall subtracting. So we have negative 15 and we're subtracting 2. That means we're going more negative. So we end up at negative 17. And finally, our last one that we'll do together is 14 plus negative 29. These two signs get replaced with a minus sign. So we're at 14 and we're going to subtract 29, so we have negative 15. So I'd like you to try to complete number 1, I through L. Number 2, we're looking at multiplying and dividing. So here the rule is different. We can look at the overall number of signs and decide what our answer will be. So in adding and subtracting, again, we're taking two signs that are beside each other and replacing them with one sign. But when we're adding and subtracting, when we're multiplying and dividing, we're looking at how many negative signs do we have in our question, and that will determine whether our answer is positive or negative. So if we have a negative number times a positive number, we know that our answer is going to be negative. And then we'll look at our numbers. 2 times 3 gives me 6. A negative 4 times a positive 3. Overall, I'm going to be negative because I have one negative sign. 4 times 3 is 12. Negative 6 times negative 2. Negative times a negative gives me positive. 6 times 2 is 12. And question D, positive times a negative, my answer is going to be negative, and 7 times 9 is 63, so negative 63. All right, the last few that I'm going to have us do together are from this section right here. The expression is 2x, and it tells you that x is equal to negative 3. So what we need to do is substitute in that negative 3 wherever we see an x. So we substituted in using brackets. So 2 times negative 3 is equal to negative 6. Okay, we'll do B and C together. So here the expression is u plus 5, and we're also told that u is equal to negative 8. So if I substitute in negative 8, where I have a u, I have negative 8 plus 5 gives me negative 3. And for part C, the expression is 3r. r is equal to negative 6. So if I substitute negative 6 in for r, this doesn't mean I'm subtracting 6. It means I'm multiplying by negative 6. So a positive 3 times a negative 6 gives me negative 3 times 6 is 18. So what I'd like you to focus on for the rest of your time is completing the questions that we didn't do together from number 1, 2, and 3. And I'm also going to assign some questions on the remainder of the page as well. So check the EDSB journal for the rest of your work.